How to remove yourself from client delivery. In this video, I will break down everything that helped me to remove myself, including the systems I actually had to design to make this happen inside of my business. For those who don't know me, my name is Robert. I'm the founder of Systems for Scaling. So before we get into actual video and the actual training, let me start with a little story that will resonate with most of you. I remember for my first company, I had 3 people working with me. I tried to actually step away for 3 days just to reset my mind, right? I didn't plan to go on holiday. I didn't plan to take a big trip with family somewhere, just to reset my mind. I told myself that my team got it. I left instructions and some conditions, what has to be actually done and how it has to be done. So I thought really confident of leaving. Day 1, everything was quiet, no fires, no drama, nothing. Actually, at that moment, I thought that I could take more days off. Then day 2. A notification popped up. I was in shower, finished shower, I looked at my phone, and suddenly I see there's an issue popped up. Nothing major, but I jumped in just to help things to move much faster forward so my team doesn't get behind. Day 3, suddenly clients escalated, right? And suddenly I wasn't observing anymore from sidelines. I was back in full operating mode. Answering, fixing, directing, controlling, and jumping on calls with clients just to make sure everything is fine. And that's when it really hit me at that moment that the business wasn't designed to run without me. It was designed actually around me. I wasn't the owner, I was the actual engine that kept the business going forward. And that's the silent ceiling most service businesses actually hit, and that's probably also why you're watching this video. You don't stall because you lack demand, you stall because you are indispensable inside of your business. You don't stop growing because of the actual leads, you stop growing because everything flows through you. And you are the main bridge that connects everything to the actual business. And here's the uncomfortable truth that most of you don't probably want to hear. The more capable you are, the more disciplined you have to be about actually letting go. Because if you are good at everything, you will keep doing everything. And that's not scalable. So today I'm going to show you how to fix that properly so this doesn't happen to you anymore. Not fake delegation, not hire and hope, not surface level SOPs, but real actual structures that will help you to remove yourself from actual delivery. The kind where the business grows and you are no longer the actual bottleneck. So let's get into it. So what you will learn inside of this video, by end of this actual video, by end of this training, you will understand number 1, the real reason most founders can't step away from client delivery and why it is not team problem, but actual structural problem. Number 2, how to identify if you are the bottleneck inside of your business and where you are actually unconsciously creating dependency. Number 3, the difference between delegation and true removal and why most delegation still keeps you trapped. The exact step-by-step process to remove yourself from delivery without losing quality or actual clients. Number 5, how to turn your delivery into a repeatable system instead of personality-based service. And number 6, how to document your process properly so someone else can execute it at 80 to 90% of your level. The role structure you need before you can safely step back and when to hire versus when to promote. Number 8, how to transition clients away from you without damaging the trust and retention. 9, the metrics you must track to know how your delivery can run without you. Number 10, how removing yourself increases profit, stability, freedom, not actually chaos and not adding more stress on top of you. 11, the mindset shift required to stop being the hero and start being the actual architect inside of your own business, and how to build a business that grows even when you're not online 24/7. So if you really want to learn all these 12 things and you want to implement them by end of this actual video, watch this video till the end. So let's go on with the first one. You are not the asset, the system is. This is something huge that is overlooked with most of the founders. They think, I'm the asset because I'm building everything, I'm doing everything, I am the one that knows everything. But the problem is this, if you asset walk away, then everything else stops working. So you're not the actual asset. Your business should become the asset. Currently, you are the biggest asset to the business. Your business is not the biggest asset to you. And that needs to be changed. And the way you change that is by designing a system that becomes the asset so your business can be the asset for you, okay? If the value lives in you, the business dies without you. If the value lives in the system, the business compounds. Most founders confuse skill with scalability. You being good is not the goal. You being replaceable is the goal. And that hurts the ego, but it builds the enterprises. And this is what my mentor said. He said, Robert, In order for you to really build the company that you want, you need to become replaceable. And that's the word that really is not sexy. And that's a word that really has no value in it as well. Replaceable means anybody can take your place. But that's who you really need to become in order for your business to grow. So, shift your identity, the real first move in order for this to happen. Before systems, before delegation, before SOPs, you must change how you see yourself. Right now, your identity might be the best strategist, the best closer, the problem solver, the client whisperer, the one who fixes absolutely everything. That identity feels powerful, but it's what actually is currently keeping you trapped. Your new identity should be the architect, builder of systems, designer of outcomes, constraint remover, and standard setter. Because an architect is what designs the entire architecture of the building. The architect doesn't necessarily goes now, puts up walls, digs foundation, and takes care of the construction. His job is to make sure that the building is being built in the right way. And so what he does, he designs the architectural planning, and then the construction workers go and make it happen. But the same works inside of your business. In order for your business to become the asset, you need to become the architect, not the construction worker, okay? So you move from actual doer to designer, and that's when the shift happens. If you skip this shift, you will sabotage every delegation attempt. So map the entire delivery pipeline. That's where we start. You cannot remove yourself from something you don't fully see. Most founders only see the obvious tasks. You must map the full life cycle. Number 1, the lead closes. 2, contract signed, onboarding sent, kickoff call, asset collection, strategy creation, execution, review, optimization, reporting, retention conversations, upsells, and renewal. Right? This all has to be tracked. Most founders currently don't have that tracked. They don't know what's going to be the next step. So their onboarding is really different. It's customized, it's personalized to every single person. Their pricing is also personalized. Their fulfillment is also personalized. Their delivery is personalized. Everything is personalized. Nothing is standardized. And so this is what helps you to really come up to standardize your actual delivery and everything inside of your business. So now ask, where exactly am I involved? Mark each point, where you are actually involved. Lead close, are you involved in sales? Are you involved in contract signing? Are you involved in onboarding? Are you involved in kickoff call? Are you involved in asset strategy, execution, review, optimization, reporting, retention, upsells, and renewal? Right? Mark each point. Then rate high skill required, medium skill required, and low skill required. If your first delegation happens in low skill repeatable, that zones, right? So want to let you know really important thing. Each of these things that you will be currently tracking, right, and mapping out, like lead, closes, you need to see if that's a high skill required, medium skill required, low skill required. Let's say that that's like a high skill required because you need a really high closer inside of your business to close the business. Then what you need to do, you need to be focusing on getting somebody with the same skill set. You usually need to get a closer, okay? If you're just starting out, you can just start with a normal closer, medium closer, because if you don't have a lot of volume of leads coming in, you can start with a normal actual closer. You don't need a really high closer, because if you have a lot of volume coming in and you're really scaling, then you can't afford to be wrong, because those mistakes at higher stakes cost much more, okay? So your first delegation happens in low skill, repeatable zones, okay? So this could be somewhere, let's say the kickoff call could happen. You could do that on the onboarding also, right? This could be your admin. First, you can get admin, okay? Never start by giving away strategic decision making. Start with the mechanical execution. This would be your account managers, this could be your admins, but like me personally, I started with lead closing, okay? I wanted to get actually closer, so I got a closer inside of my business first, because that helped me to remove myself from actual conversion. But it helped me to also look over it and help to actually improve it by giving training and everything else. And then once that closer became really great, we recorded it. We recorded all his sales calls. We also recorded all the trainings. And then what happened? That became the touch point for the first closer to come in to go through that actual training. Okay. Also, I did that for admin. So when I hired my first admin, I didn't just hire and tell her what to do. I actually told her to record how she does and how she thinks, and in terms of actual how my business thinks. And so that also became training when I was hiring the actual another admin. And so I did that with each actual person that I hired. I told them to record how they think, how they execute, and how they actually fulfill each task. And that became my actual training for the next person that I'm actually hiring in that specific role, okay? And that also means that that person can be replaceable. Let's say something happens, now that you have all the training of how they think, you can just replace them as well, okay? So let's move on then. Turn your brain into actual process. Most founders think that they don't have a system. They do. It's just undocumented. Here's the deep exercises that will help you to really get this done. For the next 7 days, every time you make a decision, ask, why did I choose that? Number 2, what signals did I notice? Number 3, what metric influenced me? And number 4, what would make change the actual direction, okay? You extracting decision criteria here. This becomes your playbook, decision trees, and escalation rules. Because when you're making decisions, there's a certain way you think in making those decisions. When you're making these decisions, you have went through a certain thought process. Once you record that thought process, it also helps the next person that if you want to become replaceable, it helps that person to really think what was that thought process when you make that actual decision. And so these 4 questions really help you to challenge yourself to think on a higher level, okay? So example, instead of optimize ads when performance drops, you define if CPL increases 25% over the 3-day rolling average, check creative fatigue, right? If CTR drops below, let's say 2%, test new actual hooks. If lead quality drops, adjust targeting layer, okay? That is system thinking. And that really becomes really important when you're trying to systemize your business and when you're trying to remove yourself from actual delivery. So build delivery into 3 layers. This is really critical. Every scalable delivery structure has to have 3 layers. Layer 1, execution. Layer 2, oversight. And layer 3, architecture. Right now, you're all 3 probably inside of your business, okay? So your goal structure should be executor handles tasks, manager monitors execution, you improve the actual system, okay? So executor handles the actual tasks, he executes, manager monitors the execution, how well the executor is executing, and you improve the entire system, okay? If your revenue is under 50K a month, you may not need a full manager yet, but you must design it for them already. Because when you are at 50K, you cannot now say, well, now I need to design it, because now it's too late. You already need to think about it, what's going to happen when you're actually going to hire. This means you're thinking steps ahead inside of your business. Otherwise, you will build dependency into the foundation. So design quality control properly. Most founders think reviewing everything equals control. That's wrong. Control comes from defined output standards, pre-submission checklists, measurable KPIs, and structured review cadences. So create simple quality filter. Before anything goes to client, your team must confirm, does it meet the documented outcome? Are metrics aligned? Is communication clear? Does it follow brand standards? And has it been double checked? Quality should not depend on your actual mood. You should have systemized SOPs before you give anything to client, before you hand anything over to a client. I have seen most of the times, most founders just go as the wind flows. And this is the reason why most businesses are currently failing as well. You need to have systemized criteria of how you actually fulfill your clients, okay? Before you give anything, they have to go through a checklist. They have to go through an actual overview of what has happened and can we pass that on to the actual client, okay? So, fixed client dependency. This is the actual trap that most businesses have inside of the business. Clients often stay attached to you personally, and that's really dangerous. You must shift the actual perception. I had a client that only wanted to work with me, okay? I onboarded them. They said, hi, Robert, I really like how you work. I really like your personality. You have good energy. You have good aura. I really like working with you. And so what happened was I needed to step away and I needed to put them with somebody else, okay? I had a guy that was working with me and I said, hey, you need to take care of the clients. They will have a coaching call. I need you to jump on an actual coaching call. When they jumped on, they kind of were really attached, and so they didn't have the same transparency. They didn't have the same communication. They didn't have the same openness. but they paid us already. They are our client. So it's not like a sales call. It was already that they were our client. And so they were really attached to me. And that becomes really dangerous because you must shift the perception. Early in onboarding, say you will be supported by senior delivery team. I oversee strategy and ensure performance. Language really matters. You don't disappear, you reposition. Gradual reduction method, right? Month 1, you lead calls, team presents. Month 2, team leads calls, you support. Month 3, team leads, you join monthly strategic review only, okay? Predictable, intentional, and actually structured. And this is the way you should really look at it, is because you don't want to be always there for them. You want your team to take over. You need to prepare your business and your team slowly taking over everything, okay? Install reporting dashboards. So you remove anxiety by increasing visibility inside of your business. Most people say, I'm overworked, I'm overstressed, I'm overwhelmed with my business. It's because you really are living in a foggy, performance. And when I say foggy performance, is because you don't really know what is happening, what you are performing at, like what is being tracked, what is being measured, what is working, what's not working, how do we make decisions, and it's really foggy. And this is why most founders are stressed out, okay? So create client KPI dashboards, revenue dashboard, capacity dashboard, team performance dashboard. Now, this will necessarily be for every single business model, but I want you to understand that same idea that I'm currently, this is exactly what we have in our business. So maybe in your business it will be different, but this is what you must have in order for you to really have reporting dashboards that you can really report and the clients really understand everything that's happening, okay? If you can see results, number 2, bottlenecks, and then trends. You don't need to touch delivery daily. Data replaces actual panic here, okay? So the reason for the reporting is really important because then your clients also will not be guessing. I have seen most of the times when somebody just adds a client to Slack group and then the client doesn't have no overview of the actual project, and everything for the client is living in their head, and they sometimes are confused how everything works. In order for you to have better relationship with your clients, in order for your clients to stay longer with your business and be more happier, you have to have reporting dashboards. Reporting dashboards help them to better understand what the project is currently going through, where we are, what's happening, what are the next steps. And this also takes away confusion. So create no-touch test, okay? Here's the real test. Can the business run 7 days without you touching delivery? If not, where did it actually break? So like, for instance, my business at the start couldn't do this. Like, I would have to step in delivery, I would say, after every 2 days. I could step away from 2 days, but then just things would pile up, things would not get executed, things will not get done, and I would have to step back. So right now I can step away from 7 days and delivery will be still delivered, okay? So the question is, can your business run 7 days without you touching the delivery? If not, where did it actually break? Was it communication, decision making, execution speed, quality, escalation handling? That's your system gap. Not a people problem, but a system problem. If you currently can step away for 7 days and everything is fine, that's great. If you step away from 7 days and delivery starts to break, then that's really a systems problem and it's not people's problem. The hard truth about control, right? Founders stay in delivery because it makes them feel valuable. It gives them immediate dopamine. It avoids harder work, strategy, hiring, and forecasting. It protects the actual ego as well. But delivery is the short-term stimulation. Architecture is long-term wealth. So you need to choose your pain. Most of the times I see most founders, they want to fulfill the clients. They love to fulfill the clients. One thing that they don't like is jumping on actual interviews, hiring people and delegating people and getting them involved in the company and letting the company grow. It's because it's really hard, because if you make a wrong decision in hiring, that could cost you. So they don't want to do that. Strategy also, they don't want to do. They want to do like what they are used to doing. They're used to jumping on sales calls, closing, and delivering. And then sometimes also guiding the team. That's about it. So, but you need to understand, short-term comfort equals long-term ceiling. Short-term discomfort equals long-term freedom. Okay, you really need to look at it that way. So this is advanced level. When you are at 50 to 100K a month, at this level, you must introduce delivery lead, standardized onboarding, capacity forecasting, retention tracking, profit margin guardrails, and you need to ask yourself weekly, is the delivery margin increasing? Are the clients getting better results? Is the churn decreasing? Is team clarity improving? Is my involvement decreasing? If revenue grows but involvement doesn't shrink, you are actually scaling stress at that moment, okay? So what happens when you do this the right way? When delivery is systemized, revenue becomes predictable, team becomes confident, clients feel stability, you gain mental clarity, growth decisions become rational, you can scale ads safely, you can launch new offers, and you can take real time off. And most importantly, you stop operating from survival, you start operating from actual design. Removing yourself from delivery is not about escaping work, it's about upgrading your actual responsibility. Instead of did this task get done, you ask yourself, is the system producing outcomes consistently? Okay? Instead of like, how do I fix this client, you ask, why does the system allow this issue? And that is the difference between operator and actual owner. And once you make that shift, you will never go back. So now you know exactly what needs to happen inside of your business in order for you to step away from the actual delivery, okay? If you really enjoyed this video, you got a lot of value from it as well, please like it, share it, comment down below if you have any questions on these topics that we have discovered, and I will do my best to answer them. If you currently have problems inside of your business and you really want somebody to take a look at your business and really tell you what's happening, we offer completely free, no sales, absolutely nothing to sell you, by the way, a diagnostic call in the bio. You can just simply book in that call. What we will do, we'll jump on a call and we will diagnose your entire actual business. Okay, we will diagnose your business, tell you what's actually wrong with your business, where you are going wrong, what systems are working, what's not working, is your demand, conversion, delivery, and data making, decision making systems are working. And then based on that, we will tell you exactly what are the next steps for you in order for you to actually scale your business. And if for some reason you want us to help you, maybe, just maybe we can actually help you. Currently, we are not working with a lot of people. We are kind of pushing away 75% of people that apply and want to work with us because we just want to maintain a really high success rate. But we will help you to diagnose your actual systems inside of your business, okay? Now, comment down below if you need any help additional on this video. I will make sure that I will reply to you.